Hello, hello, hello to all of my Sagittariuses. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with a special retrograde reading for you. Okay, so Sagittarius, Jupiter is in retrograde until September 13th, according to my research. So I want to share some wonderful things that I know about Sagittariuses, first of all, because they're some pretty fun and wild people. Okay, so if you know a Sagittarius, give them a shout out. But this is for my Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. Sagittarius, okay. Sagittarius are very smart. They're wild. They're very caring. They're very deep thinkers, and they're honest. So if you have happened to had a negative experience with a Sagittarius, just know what a high vibrating Sagittarius looks like. But again, this is a special retrograde reading for the planets that are in retrograde right now and their corresponding astrological signs. Okay, so retrograde. There's a little bit of confusion around the meaning of retrograde. So retrograde just simply means, and I'll just give you an example, that it is moving forward. It's never moving backwards. It's moving forward, but it's moving at a slower pace. Okay. For example, you could have two trains that are going forward in the same direction. But one train is going slower and it's giving the illusion that it's moving backwards, but it's actually moving forward. It's just going at a slower pace. So when you hear readers talk about don't sign new contracts, don't do this, you're focused on this, reviewing that, don't, that kind of thing in retrograde, it's like the universe is actually giving you some time to kind of get some things in order. And for people who have been promised, maybe through tarot, through a psychic, through astrology, that certain things are going to happen for them, like, more money coming in, some kind of an inheritance, something that has been promised that has you sort of like on tiptoe anticipation, the universe is actually giving you a little bit more time to plan. So what do you do when someone else's train reaches the station before yours, when your train and their train left at the same time? You pull out a book, you start reading, and you just use your time wisely. And so what I'm hoping to offer with these special retrograde readings is to offer you guys hope that the things that you've been promised, whether you listen to me or listen to other tarot readers, are going to happen. But it's moving at a slower pace. It is going to happen. So don't get mad at any particular tarot readers and saying, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. This is never going to happen for me. How come my friend, got this before I did? Again, this is for your signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. But we're talking about the Sagittarius for now because Jupiter is in retrograde. So are some other signs, but Jupiter is attached directly to Sagittarius. So let's get right into a reading for my Sagittarius, now that we know what the high vibrating Sagittarius look like. Okay, so I want to make sure I show you these cards. These are the Mystic Monday cards, and let's do a little bit more shuffling. Most High God in the universe, please give me a special reading for my Sagittariuses, since Jupiter is in retrograde right now, and it is scheduled to be in retrograde for quite some time. According to, according to my research, it's going to be in retrograde until September 13th. And so I want to see what we have for my Sagittariuses. See what we have for my Sagittariuses. Okay, let's get started, Sagittarius. Oh, wow. Okay. Do we have any? We don't have any major arcanas. Okay. Okay. All right. The first card that came out is the money card. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So what this telling me is this is for your abundance. This is your harvest time. This is your money. Okay. And this is great. Okay, this is prosperity, it's manifestation, it's abundance. Okay, so this is what's happening for you, Sagittarius. So I don't want you to lose faith. Okay, we already know what it means for planets, certain planets to be in retrograde, but specifically for your planet it being in retrograde right now, it means that you are reviewing your visions, your ideals, and your belief systems for your life. And so in that, I don't want you to lose faith, okay? Because this is coming to you, abundance and prosperity. Okay, you've manifested these things and they're happening for you right now, the universe. This is progression, the Three of Wands. This is progression. This represents progression. It represents your persistence. This is why I want you to stay focused. It represents anticipation, like you're on tiptoe anticipation for this prosperity and this abundance, right? Maintain that posture because it's coming. The wands represents it's a fire. It's fire. It's attached to the fire element, and it represents spirituality and actually taking action. Don't lose that fire. Look at the fiery colors on the card, but don't lose that fire. Stay in that space. This right here, the Two of Swords represents impasse, okay? Which a stillness or like indecision, because because Jupiter is going to be in retrograde for a few more months, and that's not a long time considering all of the wealth that you're manifesting and the prosperity that you're manifesting. Okay, so there's a time of stillness where it may feel like it's not happening, it's not coming in. This is not the time for you to be doubtful, because you know that it's actually coming in. Think the universe is working on your behalf. This Knight of Swords. The swords is tied to the air element, which represents your journey to intellect and power. Okay, so this Knight card for you, it just represents it represents you being in that position. You're ready to receive all those things. That's why I said it's so important to just keep your vibrations very high during this time and just be still and know that it's happening for you. The universe is pulling everything together for you the way that it was supposed to come together for you. But there's a lot of prosperity and a lot of abundance in your immediate future. And so the Ace of Cups, that's be creative, during that time. That's just your emotional expression, free flow. But that free flow is also very positive. Remember, I said a lot of people are working on themselves right now, a lot of healing, a lot of introspection right now, a lot of growth for a lot of people, and you're no different, Sagittarius. And things are happening for you. So you've managed to control your emotions during this time of retrograde. You know why? Because you remembered a time when you allowed yourself to get distracted, literally distracted to death. Okay, so a lot of times when I see these swords, what the universe is telling me is that people allow other people to get close enough to them to stab them in the back, and then they left them for dead. But in this case, what I'm seeing is that your distractions were the thing that almost killed you. The distractions, it could have been in your mind, it could have been around you, but they were distractions that almost killed you. Let's get into a deeper reading. Okay, gosh, what just jumped out? Okay, all right. This card jumped out. We'll get into that in just a second. The Princess of Swords. All right, let's see what else the universe has. Let's see what else the universe has. Let's see what else the universe has. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So Sagittarius, during this period, like I said, let me see if we have any. Okay, we do have some major arcanas. Okay, let's move these up here so we can get some overall like energy for everything. Okay, so this Temperance card is actually tied to you. This is you, the Sagittarius. This is a Temperance card, okay? Um, Everything in your life is in balance. This Magician card is attached to the Gemini, which is attached to Mercury, which goes retrograde tomorrow. Okay. This represents you having infinite wisdom and knowledge, and also everything that you need at the time that you need it in your toolbox. Even if you think you're lacking something, you're not lacking anything. Okay. And this right here, the moon, which is connected to Cancer, emotions, and creativity. This is, again, your time. See, when you know beyond all shadows of a doubt that abundance and prosperity is coming your way because you're manifesting these things as you speak, and you know it's happening for you, you don't need to allow any distractions to come into your life. This is you looking at your former life, you're shadowing yourself, looking at the mountains behind you. So these are the things that are now behind you. Okay, you've manifested the wealth. You know, you have a very, very balanced life. You have abundant life, an abundance of wealth, abundance of health. You have money, you have prosperity because you've manifested all those things. Look, this right here, the Princess of Swords. Look at the sword in your hand. This is masculine, feminine energy. You know exactly when to use this. And this is to cut off any negative doubts. This is to cut off any negative people, any low vibrating anything in your life. You know exactly when to cut it off. And this is what I, got for you. This right here represents the pain and the heartbreak and the rejection you felt when you doubted yourself for a second, for even a moment, that these things were not going to happen for you. Now, I know that September seems like it's far off when you've been promised abundance and prosperity, but imagine the frustration and the pain that you could have if you start vibrating low, because you start doubting yourself and start doubting it's not going to happen for me. It's just, remember, planets being in retrograde, it just means that it's moving at a slower pace, but it's still moving forward. So nobody can block or stop your blessings from coming, but they certainly can be delayed. The only person that can cause the delay is you. And so you don't want to be in a state of feeling like, man, I know it's coming, but I keep delaying my blessings. And so you don't want to be in this space. This right here, this Eight of Swords, look at this person right here. I want to see if I can get as close as possible. These bondages are very, very loose, meaning that they're all in this person's mind. They're all in your mind. So everything that you've been promised, this abundance, prosperity that you've been manifesting, is here. You have to speak it into the now. Remember, you're manifesting things, Sagittarius. So because you're manifesting things, you know that you can go back and look at your former life where you had all those mountains up there and just look back and reflect. This person is naked and vulnerable. They are relaxed, naked, and vulnerable. They are in their new beginning, their new life. So all of these things are happening for you. Anything that doesn't seem like it's happening for you is really, really just all in your mind. Because this person has the power to just simply shake these. These are like these little silk wrappings, but they're not even tied in a knot. They're not tied tight. Shake them off, take the blindfold off, and walk right on through. See, no restriction whatsoever. It's just around you. It's in your mind. This represents noise, in your mind. But yeah, that's what I have for you. This is a wonderful reading. And like I said, the overall energy for you is that your life is in full balance, that you're even looking back at a time once this retrograde has gone direct, and you are living this abundant life because you've manifested this prosperity, in your life. And an abundance could mean abundance of health, abundance of wealth, money, all those things. You're going to be looking back and like, wow, I should have never doubted this. I should have just held on to knowing that this is going to happen for me. And so, but you don't even need to think about that. That's what the cards are for. Just continue manifesting that abundance and prosperity into your life, because it's actually happening for you. Okay? Anything that any low vibrating thoughts that come into your mind that cause you to think that it's not going to happen to you, just use those swords to cut them off, and get out of that type of thinking, and then move on, because you know it's happening for you. But that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Again, this has been for my Sagittarius, for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And because Jupiter is currently in retrograde until September 13th, this has been Queen Amun Ra coming to you with today's special retrograde readings. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it resonates with you all. Thank you and have a wonderful day.